What is up, true believers? It's Mason here with Comics and Crosses, where we discuss the eternal truths behind our modern mythology. And today I thought I would drop a video on a subject that was fascinating to me, or just kind of popped in my head and occurred to me. So today I'd like to talk about Batman, Bruce Wayne's religion, if he has any. Yep. So it kind of occurred to me. I thought, Batman's never struck me as a Christian per se. I mean, certainly he's a hero. He does a lot of heroic things. He does some um, just generally righteous things, looking out for those who need protecting. He's a vigilante, but is he a Christian? No. I mean, he also has some major character flaws, some major trauma that has lived kind of pushed him into an extreme lifestyle, and he has been very callous, very guarded, has even been very cold and hurtful to the point of being harmful with even his Bat family. Although I feel like in recent years in the comics, he's become a lot more Vin Diesel-y and a lot more family centered. He seems to have kind of changed his tune and softened a bit, maybe due to his old age. But but so I decided to do a little digging because I couldn't think of anything specifically that I came across that was, you know, flat out clear about his religion. But then I came across this here. Let me pull this up. Um, so yes, I went looking for Bruce Wayne's religion, and I found this. Bruce Wayne, the man who has fought gods, has been confirmed to be an atheist. After years of speculation, the mystery about the Cape Crusaders' actual religious beliefs, the most recent Batman comic has revealed that Bruce Wayne used to believe in a higher power, but no longer does. So then I came across this article here on Screen Rant. So this dives into basically saying that during the Tom King's run on Batman. Now, this is why I was a little hazy because I really didn't. I stopped reading during Tom King's run on Batman. Sorry. As much as he's my favorite character, I just couldn't hang. And so after Selena Kyle left Bruce at the altar and didn't marry him, it says he gave up his belief in his own personal god, Batman. Which makes a lot of sense. It says Batman's religious confessions begin with Bruce Wayne talking about his own theological background, raised as a Christian by his father Thomas. Though Bruce never quite believed in Christianity as a small child, he accepted it. That's until his parents were murdered, and Bruce understandably lost faith. So we see this little exchange here from the comics, where he is saying, I once did, but no longer, basically. Um, so this is a really good article on Screen Rant. You can Google it yourself and find it. But it talks about, it brings up the interesting point that Bruce's God was essentially Batman. He had this sense, and then he even loses faith in Batman. So when things in his life kind of start to fall apart, and he realizes that, maybe he's not as powerful as he once thought. He's not as in control as he once thought. And this raised an interesting thought for me because um, I think Batman, Bruce Wayne is one of the most strong-willed characters in comics. You can almost say he would make a great Green Lantern, but I think there is an element of fear, even though Batman uses fear. I think there's an element of fear that exists within him, and really he just uses it to drive him to be incredibly driven and motivated and on this kind of never-ending quest. So Bruce did in fact kind of form an image that he sort of strived towards and attained to. He created an image, a symbol bigger than himself. I thought the Dark Knight, or well, Batman Begins, I guess you would say. The movie Batman Begins with Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan directed film, really did a good job of showing how Batman was a symbol and was something greater than Bruce himself, that he was using to enact change, to bring something more out of himself, something that was channeling all of his fear and his trauma and using it as a force, like a strong force for good. Um, so, um, there's something that's happening there. If you could say that Bruce, that Batman was Bruce's God, and Batman not being, even though Batman is him, Batman in a way is not a real person. It's Bruce. Bruce is Batman, but it is this greater idea that he was kind of striving towards. It made me think of something that's a very prevalent reality for, I think, every human being. The fact that um, one of the Ten Commandments is that, let me see if I can do the King James right here, but thou shalt not have any graven image. And what's that saying is that in old times they used to literally mold and carve out of wood or stone images that would be gods, like, you'd go to a sacred place and bow down to these idols, these images of what man had created to be a god. And so the Judeo Christian God found this extremely offensive because um, he God was the ultimate um, God. Let's see if I can explain. So especially in comics, we have these ideas of multiple gods, like even a pantheon of gods that maybe comes from Greek thinking, things like that. But the way God described himself in the Bible was, I am that I am, meaning I cannot be summarized. I cannot be summed up, which is actually, I think, the problem that a lot of people have with religion is because they try to sum up God and say that this is it, we know, we have it concluded, and you all need to fall in line. And while God has made himself known in a number of ways, it's not exclusively that. There is also a great deal of mystery that must remain to God's nature. It's not either or, it's a and. So you can't really let go of one side and hold exclusively onto the other. So I bring this up because um, this commandment that God had to not mold a God to suit yourself was because it's human nature to basically um, reject the idea of something bigger than yourself and mold something that you can wrap your head around and comprehend and say, this is something I can agree with, therefore I will devote myself to this. I could devote myself to a lifelong of engaging in the great mystery that is God and the life that He intended for me to experience here on earth, but that is kind of hard to grasp, and so I'd like to grasp something a little more finite. Um, and so that's what Bruce has done in creating Batman. Is so being bereft of uh, religion, bereft of faith, really. Bruce chose to put his faith into an image that he molded himself. And so that being the Batman, that being a defender of the weak, that being this strong, super capable, equipped for every situation. If you know Batman, you know that's him. Equipped for every situation kind of character. Now, Bruce even found, though, at some point in his career as the Batman, that the Batman was not enough, which, from a perspective of faith, no idol really ever can be enough. No molded image of um, what is perfect can be. Because, um, I heard it put this way from a mentor of mine is if you go seeking a savior, you're always going to find an oppressor. meaning that if you look to something to be your end all be all, I mean, anything short of God Himself, anything short of He who is greater than all, the I am that I am, then you're just going to find something that you're really beholden to, that you're trapped in. So, be that the Batman or any other image that one might mold for themselves, meaning like I view myself, here's an image of a perfectly successful, maybe for me it would be the ultimate YouTuber, millions of followers, respected and heralded and monetizing it at great lengths, great depths, and now all those are good things to strive towards and be a part of your vision for yourself. Should they be the ultimate thing that you're seeking, you'll find yourself trapped and a slave to that image. And so Batman, Bruce Wayne, thankfully found himself to be his image to be false. Now I don't know where he lies now. I mean, I can imagine fighting so-called gods and doing all the crazy things that Batman has done. You might have a hard time having faith, especially seeing some of the evils that he has had to witness, which is certainly a struggle for all humans when it comes to faith. But yeah, he did come to the end of the road. I wonder where he lies now. His faith is not something that's always touched on, and there's only certain characters that it really comes regular into play, although the idea of gods and forces greater than ourselves is pretty paramount in comics. That particular thing is kind of reserved for certain characters, like, say, Daredevil or Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner, but I just wanted to explore this a little bit. I was interested to look into that because, like I said, I kind of dropped off Tom King's run for a bit until they restarted the volume to the next volume. But there you have it. Bruce Wayne, a atheist, not believing in God, but I feel as if some point Bruce has to. I mean, he's the most strong-willed character I've probably ever seen. I mean, goodness. Well, all of these heroes kind of have to be. I mean, even you could say Clark Kent, Superman, Kal-El. He is very, very, very locked into his worldview. And that's a part of his character. That's a part of his appeal. And even for these characters to be flawed is, I think, kind of necessary. For people to relate to them. That's that. That's what I found. One other quick little thing that I thought was cool is, in looking into this stuff, I came across a site that was, what is this here? So comicbookreligion.com. So this is kind of cool. And then I came across, look, there was a thread on Batman's religion started in 1992, August 30, 1992. So good to know that I'm not the only one. Of course I'm not, but not the only one who thinks about these things and finds them interesting. So Comics and Crosses, not the original discusser of such subjects, but I'm certainly here now. And hey, thanks for tuning into the video, for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think about Bruce. Do you think he needs to become a Christian? should he convert? Should he find faith? And would it help him, or would it? I wonder if it would take him away from his quest, or if it would just embolden him more. That might be a subject for another video. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. All the support is really helpful. And much love, people. I will check you next time.